But if you want to do it yourself, you're welcome to. But if you want to do it, so we have actually a special service this evening. It is the 10th yard site this week of Debbie Friedman, who had a huge impact on Jewish music, primarily, but not only in the Reform movement. So, for example, Debbie Friedman's Havdalah tune, Havdalah, the service that ends Shabbat, her tune is used throughout the Jewish world, from Reform to Reconstructionist to Conservative to Orthodox to Hasidic. Everybody uses Debbie Friedman's Havdalah tune, and there's actually a video you can find that is uh, 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 what's the word I'm looking for? That thing where you, I don't know, a mashup, a medley, clips of all of these different communities doing Havdalah using Debbie Friedman's tunes. So she's been hugely influential. And Noni, our cantorial soloist, is going to be doing tunes tonight that are nearly all, if not all, Debbie Friedman tunes with accompaniment, I believe. Correct? Do you want to say anything, Noni, before we begin? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, it's celebrating Debbie Friedman's music. The only thing that won't be Debbie Friedman's setting is our Kiddush and the Tefillah. But everything else will be settings, some that you know, some that you don't know. Everything of Debbie Friedman. And I have my accompanist, Deborah Roth, who has been playing in this sanctuary many, many times with us when the choir sang. She's agreed to accompany me on all the Debbie Friedman tunes. So hope you enjoy it. And they're beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, Noni. Thank you, Deborah. And I see that Jim and Aaron Donato are with us today as well. So welcome to you. And I see some faces of people who I'm not sure that I know. So welcome to you. It's so good to have everybody with us tonight. A couple of people in the chat are telling me that the word I was looking for was montage. And I thank you for that. That is the word I was looking for. So thank you, Alan, and thank you, Catherine. So let's just take a moment to enter into Shabbat. It's been a very cold day. Let's tap into the warmth of spirit, the warmth of togetherness. You may want to take a deep breath. If you can feel where the tension is living in your body on your exhales, see if you can release that tension. If you want to move any part of your body to loosen it. I'd like to start this evening with a poem that is not the one that we usually do. This is by Marge Piercy, and it's called Shabbat Moment. A scarf trailing over the lilac sunset, fair weather clouds, cirrus, unseenus, silk chiffon. Twilight softens the air, whispering, "Come, lie down with me." Untie the knots of the will. Loosen your clenched grip, barren hills of bone. Here, no edges to hone, only the palm fallen open as a rose about to toss its petals. What you have made, what you have spoiled, let go. Let twilight empty the crowded rooms, quiet the jostling colors to hues of swirling water, pearls of fog. This is the time for letting time go like a released balloon dwindling. Tilt your neck and let your face open to the sky like a pond catching light, drinking the darkness. I would like to invite Gail to lead us in the candle blessing.
Got it.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
We will continue on to the Kiddush. And Bob, would you please read the Kiddush for us in English?
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who, finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor, you made the holy Shabbat our heritage, as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. Shabbat kodsho b'havov ratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila lemikrai kodesh zeicher letziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'chata v'tanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yahavo v'ratzon hinachaltanu baruch atah Adonai mikadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Thank you, Doctors Gail and Bob Levine Freed. We continue now with Lecha Dodi. If you have a prayer book, it's on page 138. And it invites us to imagine the Shabbat as a bride that we go out together to escort into our homes to bring joy and beauty on this Shabbat.
Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה שמות וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי מקור הברכה. בראש מקדם ניסוך, סוף מעשי במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי ברך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
I invite you, if you're able, to rise for the Baruch Hu. If you have a prayer book, it's on page 146.
Lai 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach, Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Praise be the blessed one, blessed be Adonai. Praise be the blessed one forever and evermore. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
I invite you to read with me page 148 in the prayer book. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
at the A. Ahavat olam bit Yisrael amecha amcha Torah u'mitzvot, hukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbinu, kumenu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי כן חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
We continue with the Shema, page 152, if you have a prayer book.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all of thy might. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be in thy heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, and when thou risest up, and when thou liest down, and when thou liest down, and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes, and thou shalt write them on the doorposts of thy house, and upon thy gates, that ye may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto thy God, unto thy God, unto thy God.
Please be seated. Page 156 in the prayer book. If you choose, please read with me. All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. You alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You are our sovereign and Savior, who delivers us from oppressors' hands and saves us from tyrants' fists. You work wonders without number, marvels beyond count. You give us life and steady our footsteps. You performed miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nidar b'kodesh, norati hilot osefele, norati hilot osefele. Malechutecha ra'u v'necha, v'kei hayom lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, zili anu ve'amro, zili anu ve'amro. Adonai Melech le'olam va'ed. Adonai Melech le'olam va'ed.
V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov u'ga'alo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai ga'al Yisrael. And of course, some of these words in Mi Chamocha appear in our Torah portion for this week, Beshalach, which includes the song at the sea. So this is part of the song of joy and triumph and freedom that the Israelites sang after they crossed the parted sea.
Ushmot zetenu voinu lechaim uleshalom me'ata ve'ad olam me'ata ve'ad olam me'ata ve'ad olam hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu le'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim oferos aleinu sukat shlomecha me'ata ve'ad olam me'ata ve'ad olam me'ata ve'ad olam.
We continue with Vishamru.
Veshameru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot v'HaShabbat b'dorotam berit olam. Beni אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. בני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. בני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם, ברית עולם.
We have come to the tefillah. If you have a prayer book, it begins on page 164, and I invite you, if you're able, to rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagdol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocheh Chasdevot v'imot, U'mevii Geula livnei v'neihem, Aman Shemo b'Ahava, Melech Ozer, Moshiach Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב בהושיע, משיב הרוח, מוריד הגשם, מחכה לחיים בחסד, בחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, קדושים בכל יום, יהללו הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Let's be seated. If you have a prayer book, we're on page 173, and I invite you to read with me. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yir'ah na'avod. We come now to our prayer of gratitude. So, if you have something that you're feeling grateful for this evening, I invite you to type it into the chat, or you can unmute yourself and share out loud whatever it is that you're grateful for this evening. So, please go ahead and do that now. Linda Kushner Silverman.
Am I unmuted?
You are.
I got the COVID vaccine this morning and it went easy peasy. Everything was so simple. Lincoln really did a great job. And the nurse who gave me the shot was from Murrow. So I felt Joel was watching over me. It worked out beautifully today.
I am so glad. This was your first dose?
My first.
All right.
I just got mine too at Lincoln.
Oh, what time?
Like 6 o'clock.
At night?
Yeah, just now.
Susie's halfway there, everybody. I'm so excited.
All right, Susie. All right, Linda. Modim nachnu lach that people are starting to get vaccinated. That's wonderful. Who else has something they want to share that they're grateful for? Linda Feller.
I got my vaccine shot last week, but unfortunately it was a little harder than yours, Linda. I had terrible pain in my arm for 2 or 3 days, but it went away and I'm fine. And I'm been isolating since because my daughter and her family are coming to visit tomorrow. We both isolate so we can visit with each other. And there is nothing like seeing your children and your grandchildren. So I'm very grateful.
We can be grateful for the opportunity to see family in ways that are safe. So thank you for that, Linda. Hazel.
I'm grateful for having had Debbie Friedman in my life. And we met on, in fact, some people might remember her first concert at Carnegie Hall. It was a major snowstorm. We did a fundraiser for the temple and we trudged out and saw her there, among many other things. So I'm thrilled that we're paying tribute to her tonight.
Great. So gratitude for Debbie Friedman and her presence in Hazel's life. Thank you for that, Hazel. Linda Horowitz.
I am grateful that I could speak to you on my new computer. Finally, although it's broken, it's being exchanged next week. But anyway, I'm very grateful for good health, for friends, for family, and I'm so happy to hear that people are starting to get their injections. I'm only 29, so I'm not eligible yet, but soon.
Modim nachnu lach. Thank you, Linda, for that. So we're grateful for health, we're grateful for vaccinations, we're grateful for everything else that you said as well. Gail and Bob.
Hold on. Yes. Go.
We got our vaccinations yesterday at NYU Langone here in Brooklyn. Everything went very smoothly, no side effects. I taught my yoga class, my first Beshert chair yoga class that evening, and it's wonderful.
All right. Modim nachnu lach. Those.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
grateful
sorry.
that our gratitude prayer is turning into a vaccine report.
Very much so. Rabbi, this may be a little premature, but it's sort of in anticipation. I am named for Reuben Fried, my grandfather, and there's really nothing that I have about him outside of some, description from my father. And I was on Ancestry recently, and through a connection to a photograph of an uncle, I made contact with the son of a first cousin. There are two first cousins whom I really do not know. I only met them at funerals. So I'm hoping that I will have contact with a first cousin, the father of the young man who posted the photograph of my uncle and his wife. I believe it was a wedding photograph. And also he said that he has some of the writings of my grandfather. And even if it's in Yiddish, it would be a remarkable thing. So it's sort of in anticipation, the excitement of getting this information over the past couple of days.
All right. So gratitude for finding unexpected family. Thank you for sharing that. In the chat, Diane Figueroa is grateful that she got her COVID shot. She had an appointment that was canceled and rescheduled, and then it happened. Catherine Hasslinger has a birthday coming up. Happy birthday, Catherine, and a vaccine appointment to come. Karen Kramer is grateful for this beautiful Shabbat service and to be virtually here with her temple friends. Lori Silverman is grateful to be here with us tonight. She's grateful for her sister who is with them tonight and for the rest of the family. And she is grateful that she has an appointment to get her first vaccine shot at Lincoln, I think next week. And Gail also said hers out loud. Does anybody else have anything else that they're feeling grateful for today? Did I see someone else?
Yep.
Yes, Lori Silverman. Go ahead.
I actually got my shot 2 weeks ago at Lincoln. I'm waiting to get my second. And my sister actually is joining us virtually tonight to listen to Bichette and to see how she likes it. So she's here with us, Karen Siegel.
Oh, that's who Karen.
My one and only sister who I love.
Welcome, Karen Siegel. Yeah, I didn't recognize your name and I wasn't sure if we had met. Welcome, Lori Silverman's sister, Karen Siegel, who is yourself a person.
Thank you.
And welcome to everybody else who's here. I'm so grateful all of you are here as well. Karen, did you have anything else to add that you're grateful for today?
Just being able to join a service, and I'm enjoying it very much. So thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome. It's wonderful that you're here.
And it's good to see my sister and her face. I haven't seen it in a while. So,
Where are you, Karen?
I live in New Jersey.
Well, welcome.
Thank
Zoom,
you.
one of the benefits of Zoom.
Yes, exactly. Mona Goldberg.
Yes, it's Lillian's birthday today. I think she'd appreciate if we all said happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Lillian. Michael Rose.
Grateful that my stepfather, Robert Perlman, is recovering from his serious illness currently.
Yes, we're going to mention him for Misha Baruch as well, but Mike's stepdad is recovering from a pretty serious illness, and we're glad that he's getting better. Linda Feller?
I said.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm just like looking at people who are unmuted and assuming that they have something to say.
I was trying to say happy birthday to Lillian.
Happy birthday, Lillian. Let's see. In the chat, we have Phyllis got an appointment for a shot in White Plains. And Linda Kushner Silverman is saying good Shabbos to everybody and stay safe. Diane Schenker, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful that we have a 8-year-old great-grandson today. Our sweet Sam. He is such a love and a mush. And they're in Syracuse, and I'm so sad.
Yeah, well, I hope that hopefully we'll emerge from this soon enough. Elaine Sarfati.
I'm grateful to Hazel for her talk on spirituality that made me start lighting candles on Shabbos.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Anybody else? I see one more in the chat. Oh, that's another happy birthday for Lillian. Happy birthday, Lillian. Wow. All right. So we have lots to be grateful for, and it's mostly vaccines. So we can all be very grateful as people start getting their COVID vaccines, which is our, it's sort of at this point, the symbol of our hope for an end to the pandemic. And a lot of people are also offering prayers of gratitude for the vaccine that go. We are grateful that God gave us the intellect and the skill, the ability to develop the skill in order to develop these vaccines and give them to people. So that is part of my gratitude for today as well. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. We continue by praying for peace in our own hearts and in our homes and in the whole world.
But we're going to continue with a Sim Shalom of Debbie Friedman's, just one beautiful line of Sim Shalom, also a prayer for peace. Sim Shalom, Tova Veracha, Chen V'Chesed, V'Rachamim, Aleinu ve'al kol yirei shemecha, Barchenu Avinu, Kulanu ke'echad be'or panecha, be'or panecha. Sim Shalom, Tova Veracha, Chen V'Chesed, V'Rachamim,
We continue now quietly. There are words in the prayer book, if you have one, on pages 180 and 181. There are words on the screen in front of you, if you can see that. And of course, we can always use the words that are in our own hearts. We continue quietly.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer.
Shabbat Shalom again, everyone, and welcome. A shepherd was leading his sheep across a river when a wolf came to attack the sheep. What did the shepherd, who knew well how to deal with such emergencies, do? He took a large he-goat and threw it to the wolf, saying to himself, "Let him struggle with this till we cross the river, and then I will return to rescue the he-goat." So that's part of a midrash, a rabbinic interpretive story on our Torah portion for this week, B'Shalach. This Shabbat is called Shabbat Shira. It's so incredibly appropriate that this is when we celebrate Debbie Friedman, because Shabbat Shira means the Shabbat of song. And that's because the outstanding event in our Parsha is the splitting of the Reed Sea and the Israelites crossing it on dry ground and bursting into song, joyous song and dance on the other side, after the sea closes on the pursuing Egyptians and the Israelites are finally out of Egypt and safe. Afterward, the journey into the wilderness begins. This is still in our Parsha. God tells Moses how to provide them with water, and for the first time, manna falls from the sky to give them food to eat. The Parsha ends with a battle against Amalek, which the Israelites win. But the midrash that I shared part of, we'll get to the rest of it, but that was just part of it that I shared a moment ago, is commenting on the moment just before the sea was parted, before the people go through and rejoice. The people have left their homes in Egypt and they're encamped on the shore of the sea. But Pharaoh changes his mind once again and comes after them with his army. When the Israelites see this army bearing down on them, they're terrified and they cry out to God, fearing for their lives. Moses tells them not to be afraid because God will save them. But God says, "Why do you cry out to me?" Then God tells Moses to send the Israelites forward and hold his arm over the sea to split it, which Moses does. And it's that line, "Why do you cry out to me?" that is the hook on which this midrash hangs. A shepherd was leading his sheep across a river when a wolf came to attack the sheep. What did the shepherd, who knew well how to deal with such emergencies, do? He took a large he-goat and threw it to the wolf, saying to himself, "Let him struggle with this till we cross the river, and then I will return to rescue the he-goat." We might think that the wolf is Pharaoh, but it's not so, according to Rabbi Chama ben Chanina, to whom this midrash is attributed. He says, when Israel departed from Egypt, the angel Samael arose to accuse them. Samael is sometimes called the Satan in our tradition, and his role is not the same as the role of Satan that we know from popular culture, which is based on a Christian tradition of Satan, the devil. In Jewish tradition, Samael, or the Satan, is a kind of divine prosecutor who argues before God regarding the guilt of human beings. And that is what his role is in this midrash. So the angel Samael is the metaphorical wolf attacking the metaphorical flock. The midrash says, Samael rose to accuse them, pleading before God, "Lord of the universe, till now they have been worshiping idols, and now you're dividing the sea for them?" What did God do? God delivered into Samael's hands Job, of whom it is written, "And that man was wholehearted and upright, and said, Behold, Job is in your hands." God reckoned, while Samael is busily occupied with Job, Israel will go through the sea. Afterward, I will deliver Job. There are a number of reasons why I love this midrash, but I'm going to focus on really just one of them this evening. It is so interesting that the Midrash imagines God throwing Job to the angelic prosecutor to keep him busy. As you may know, Job is the subject of his own book of the Hebrew Bible, the book of Job. It's in the writings section of the Bible. And he was a good person by all accounts. At the beginning of the book of Job, the Satan, the same angelic prosecutor who appears in our Midrash, says to God that Job is probably only good because nothing bad has ever happened to him. He's got a great life. Why wouldn't he be good? And God says, okay, fine, test him then. And the Satan does. Terrible things happen to Job, deaths of his family members, painful illness, whatever the Satan can think of. His friends come ostensibly to comfort him, but mainly they tell him it must be his fault. He must have done something wrong that he has to repent for, because he must be being punished because this doesn't happen to people who are good. He holds fast, he never gives in, and in the end, indeed, God comes back and restores his fortunes. And this whole situation in the book of Job is really problematic for a lot of people, and I'm one of them. Are God and the Satan just playing a game with Job's life? How is that possibly okay? The Midrash I shared with you, one of the things I love about it is that it answers that question. It says, no, Job didn't deserve his suffering, but it was inflicted on him in order to distract Samael, the Satan, long enough for the Israelites to be freed, who didn't deserve to be freed, who were not necessarily good people. Job's suffering did serve a purpose that helped others. Job was the strong he-goat that could fight off the wolf while the rest of the flock got to safety until the shepherd could come back to get him. And so that's another thing that comes up here is issues of strength and weakness, not necessarily physical strength, but spiritual strength. Job was very strong spiritually, and the Israelites were not. The Midrash tells us they worshiped idols in Egypt. And at the beginning of this week's Torah portion, we read, now when Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them by way of the land of the Philistines, although it was nearer. For God said, the people may have a change of heart when they see war and return to Egypt. So God sees their spiritual weakness. And my goodness, why wouldn't they be weak? They've been enslaved all their lives. They're just starting their relationship with this God. And there they are, trapped in this moment between the Egyptian army and the sea. Spiritual weakness and spiritual strength manifest in different ways. The Hebrew Bible speaks of it as loyalty to God. We might think of it as emotional resilience, the ability to keep going when it's hard and not give up, or the ability to keep hoping and working for a better future. In March, it will be 1 year since we stopped coming together in person. And it's been a hard year for many of us and so many others. Some were already struggling even before there was a pandemic and may not have had a lot of strength even when it began. Many of us feel stronger on some days than on others. Many of us have been getting worn down more and more over the course of the year. Now, I don't believe that God causes our hardships and suffering. And I don't think that's the lesson for us to learn from the Midrash that casts Job as the strong goat that can survive the wolf's attack while others get away. Rather, I think that a message we can take away is that when we are feeling strong, that is when it is our turn to step into the breach. That is when it's our turn to try to hold up someone else, to put something uplifting into the world, whether physically or spiritually or emotionally. At the end of our Torah portion, the Israelites encounter Amalek for the first time. Amalek, who will be our perennial enemy. In the retelling of this episode from the end of our Torah portion in the book of Deuteronomy, the Torah says that Amalek cut down the stragglers who were at the rear as the Israelites traveled. That is, Amalek attacked the weaker people who were at the back. Very few of us feel strong all the time, though many of us find we have strength to go on even when it feels like we don't. Though we don't feel strong all the time, let us use our strength when we can, not to leave the weakest among us at the back. Let us be willing when we have the strength to advocate for the weak, to offer support, to give of ourselves to strengthen others. And we actually may find that when we do so, we can bolster our own strength rather than depleting it. May we give each other strength, hope, and love, and may we find continuing spiritual sustenance in relationships and community. Amen and Shabbat Shalom.
This is Debbie Friedman's song, One People, that she wrote in 2006. Very appropriate for our time. God bless our country and all who lead us. May they be wise and just and fair. God guard our borders, keep us safe and strong. God keep our country in your loving care. We'll be one people seeking freedom, one people seeking justice, one people seeking hope, one people seeking peace. God bless our country. Let every race and creed unite in harmony and pride. We'll join together and we'll work hand in hand. We are one people standing side by side. We'll be one people seeking freedom, one people seeking justice, one people seeking hope, one people seeking peace. God bless our country and all its people. May they be free of hate and war. Lay down your swords and shields. Nations will not fight again, and they will not learn war anymore. We'll be one people seeking freedom, one people seeking justice, one people seeking hope, one people seeking peace. One people seeking freedom, one people seeking justice, one people seeking hope, one people seeking a peace. One people seeking freedom, one people seeking justice, one people seeking freedom, one people seeking justice, one people seeking freedom, one people seeking freedom, one people seeking one
We turn our thoughts now to those among us and those in our hearts who are ill and who are in need of healing of body, of mind, or of spirit. If you have names of people for whom you are praying for healing today that you did not send into the office, I invite you to type those names into the chat. I'll also give you a chance if you prefer to add them out loud. We hold in our thoughts and in our hearts for healing this evening Jesse Sakharoff, Ira Weiss, Elaine Drucker, Allison Plummer, Patty Ann Cubero, Susan Sisler, Alan Fremer, Susan Bilecki, Dana Haitkin Nelson, Arlene Rosenthal, Michael Luck, Barbara Weiner, Andy Glantzman, Julie Falkowski, Amy Joskowitz Soonseller, Ira and Deanna Roth, Roz Bornstein, Susan Shuro, Irv Weiner, Eddie DeAngelis, Ira Goldman, Vicki Lightnaker, Nettie Trommer, Mia Gannon, Richie Stein, Jeff Abel, Harold Gleiberman, Suzanne Leknos, Florence Schoen, Jules Feldman, Esther Bot-Lucy, Ted and Albert Galantner, Joel Secundi, Iris Merlis, Maxine Breland, Ruth and Arthur Penn, Leslie Rogowski, Andrea Graves, Roz Zuckerman, Paul Kastick, Shirley Joseph, Teresa O'Sullivan, Jerry Taylor, Robin and Neil Power, Allie Franklin, Stu Berman, Linda Goodman, Marlene Unterberger, Glenda Greenman, Freya Kashmir, Delphine Wolf, Roz Solomon, Joan Lifshitz, Ira Berkowitz, Stacy, David and Wilma Mauser, Hannah Paines, Bob Perlman. Mindy Berlin, the family of Willie Bagley, Barbara Kluger, Suzanne Mishler Hernandez, Elliot Woofsey, Joan Lifshitz, Clinton Lewis, Bobby and Dan Baumgarten, David and Marilyn Bader, Pat Martin, Jeff Wexler, Sam Sarfati, Marlene and Ira Berkowitz, Hi Brett, Rita Soul, Lou Levinson, Della Cohen, Jackson and Tara Kushner, Shelley Samet, Stanley and Levina Tenon, David Gershon, Ronnie Katlowitz, Ruth Gordon, Linda Kushner Silverman. Does anyone have any other names they'd like to add out loud? Please unmute yourself if you have names to add.
Rabbi,
Yes.
Liz Yasuda, Richard Zagam, Mark, Paul and Connie Steiner, Monica Beyer, Patty and Erwin Cohen, Mimi Karp, and Marion Mandel.
Bayumi Mohammed. Who else? Anyone else have names they'd like to add? Okay, we also include all of those who are currently ill with COVID-19 and those who are suffering because of the measures that we've taken to slow the spread of the virus. We include all of those who are unemployed in our nation. We include those who have been wounded in service to our country or Israel, and who have been hurt in recent disasters, whether natural or human created. If you have a prayer book, the Misha Berach is on page 371 in the middle of the page.
Misha Berach Avotinu B'kor HaBracha Le'imotinu. May the source of strength strength. Oh, bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekora habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We have come to the Aleinu, the blessing that looks toward the day when all the world will be one. I invite you, if you're able, to rise. If you have a prayer book, it begins on page 586.
And this again is Debbie Friedman's adoration. So in English and in Hebrew, not quite what's on the prayer book page. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto God, who spread out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest, whose greatness is manifest, whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God. There is none else. V'anachnu koreim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malachei hamlochim hakadosh Baruch Hu. We therefore bow in awe and thanksgiving before the one who is sovereign over all, the Holy One. Blessed be God, blessed be God, the Holy One. Blessed be God. Amen. V'ne'ema v'haya Adonai le'melech al kol haaretz. Bayom hahu, bayom hahu, yihye Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. On that day, Adonai shall be one, God's name shall be one.
Let's be seated. We turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us, our loved ones who have died in the past days or weeks or months or in past years at this time of the year. I've displayed our yahrzeit list for this week on the screen. If you have names of anyone for whom you're saying the mourner's Kaddish, who is not on this list and whose name you didn't send to the office, you may add those names if you choose in the chat, or I'll give you a chance to add them aloud at the end. We remember those who have died in the past year. Amy Zisovic, Robert Allen Santos Sr., Robert Bonenfant, Barry Strumpf, Dorothy Mason, Judy Panzer, Barry Ween, Charlotte Brown, David Schachter, Douglas Maines, Devora Lewis, Tria Sapir, Jane Evans, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, Manny Pastor, Ruth Rubin, Harris Reese, Emerson Berger, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Carolyn McNamara, Marion McGivney, Ronnie Turek, Michaela Schaefer, Helen Zagerman Schwimmer, Ido Sheffi, Elaine Gordet, Dr. Stephen Kamholtz, Carol Gross, Carol Andre, Robert Serpico, Jeanette Riley, Melvin Barish, William Lamp, Ina Sandals, Martin Schenken, Solomon Tettelbaum, Howard Jankelowitz, Sean Singer, Jeff Harris, Sammy Berger, Rabbi Kenneth Roseman, Chaim Braunzweig, Harry Baylor, Benjamin W. Schaefer, Shirley Hyatt Tobias, Myron Klein, Ted Tobias, Rita Belay, Jay Jankelowitz, Sandy Gannon Abel, David Ribler, Bess Newman, Buzz Lorch, Benjamin Benjamin Elwood, Edward Albino, Joseph Davis, Gary Zeitlin. We also remember some very well-known people who have recently died. Henry Aaron, Cloris Leachman, Cicely Tyson, and Larry King. Joyce Coward, Isabel Haslanger, Tom Merriman, Harry Berkowitz, Judy Epstein, Park Shing Lam, Leatrice Langer, Inga Probetsky, Kevin McCarthy, Doris Berlin. And on our yahrzeit list today are included Shirley Amrani's brother, Eliyahu Amrani, Shirley First's mother, Anna First, Stanley Ginsberg's father, Al Ginsberg, Jerry Jaffe's mother, Muriel Jaffe, Abe Kirschenblatt's mother, Ilona Kirschenblatt, Ruth Levine's husband, Herman Levine, Lori Pandolfo's father, Morton Halpern, David Olasav's grandmother, Sophie Olasav, Leonora Katzman's grandmother, Emma Pizer, Susan Radau's mother, Helen Plattner, who I think actually was on the list last week, Shirley Spivak's mother, Fanny Redman, Les Schenker's mother, Tilly Schenker, Helene Smith's mother, Charlotte Smith, Sharon Spellman's grandfather, Oswald Spellman, and Natalie Friedlander's father, Leon Taran. Does anyone else have any names of anybody else that they're saying the mourner's Kaddish for? Or would you like to tell us anything about any of the names that we have mentioned or any of the other names that are on our yahrzeit list?
Rabbi,
Yes.
this is Gerard. I just want to mention, I just learned of the death of Erwin Fox, who actually people may know him as Sonny Fox, who was the host of a children's TV show in the early 1960s, Wonderama, and a graduate of PS 217, among other. He was 95 years old, died in Los Angeles of COVID-19. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gerard. We also include Roseanne Levitt's grandmother, Rose Levitt. Anyone else? Okay. We also include all of those around the world who have died from COVID-19 and those who have died from other causes, whether in war or famine or terror or disaster, or alone and homeless on the streets of our cities. If you have a prayer book, the Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. And I invite you to rise and join in or to participate in the Kaddish according to your own custom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach yirteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'yimru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran ba'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to the bereaved wherever they may be. And let us say, amen. Let's be seated.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru, amen.
Some announcements before we conclude. As is so often the case, there's a lot going on. I think Eric is not here this evening. Is that true? Yeah, I think that's true. So I'll hit you with some announcements. Here we go. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. is our congregational Tu B'Shvat celebration, which will be led by Rabbi Pinsky. The Zoom link was in the links email that I sent out yesterday. This is for everybody, not just kids. And we will not be having B'Yachad because we have the Tu B'Shvat instead. Services will follow at 11 a.m. And that'll be on the same link as the Tu B'Shvat celebration. Then, in case you want more Tu B'Shvat, on Sunday, January 31st at 11:30 a.m., we have a Tu B'Shvat Seder that I am leading together with Rudy Lax, who is going to be doing the music. And Ruti is a member of the Munster Jewish community in County Cork in Ireland, our friends our friends across the pond. So we're doing this together with them. So that is on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. There is an Eventbrite registration for that. And it's free. But when you register, you'll get the Haggadah for the Seder and a link to one of the songs that we're going to sing. And there will also be a list of foods if you want to, go out and get some of the foods for Tu B'Shvat. The short version is it's fruit. And it's fruit that is in 3 different categories. It has you don't eat the outside, but you do eat the inside, like nuts or bananas. And then it's you do eat the outside, but you don't eat the inside. This is fruit that has pits, like plums or dates. And the third category is fruits where you eat the whole thing, like figs or strawberries. So if you want to go out and get fruits in those 3 categories, you'll be all set for the Seder. You don't have to do it. You can still come, but it might enhance your experience. So join us for that. That'll be fun and cool. Then also on Sunday, but at 3:30 in the afternoon, is the next Interfaith Coalition of Brooklyn event. And this is an ongoing series called Abraham's Table, where the Interfaith Coalition picks a topic, and then we have speakers from the Jewish, Christian, and Muslim traditions on that topic. The very cheery topic for this Sunday is persecution, and the approach to persecution in our 3 faiths. And so actually I am going to be speaking. Sister Celia Deutsch, who is awesome, is going to be speaking from the Catholic perspective, and Hafsa Gerd, who is part of the Turkish Cultural Center. She's Muslim, and I don't know, she's not part of the Turkish Cultural Center in Brooklyn, but she's part of the overall movement that the Turkish Cultural Centers are part of. She's going to be speaking out of the Muslim tradition. So that it's always very interesting. So that's worthwhile too. In the email with links that you got yesterday, there is a sign up to get the link. The link is going to be sent out to everybody who signs up on Sunday morning. Okay, but wait, there's more. On Tuesday, also we're part of Hey Neighbor. Hey Neighbor is a different project of the Interfaith Coalition of Brooklyn. There's 2 sessions left. You're still welcome to join in on them. You don't have to have attended other sessions. It's on Eventbrite. The link was also in the links email. This is some graduate students doing this project where they use theater games and theater techniques to help people talk about topics that are sometimes hard to talk about, like topics of identity. And frankly, it's been very good. I've been to all of the sessions so far, all 4 of them. And it really is, it's fun and it's interesting, and there's people from different communities, so you get different perspectives on things. I'm enjoying it, and I would encourage people to jump in on that if you're able to. I think the next one is actually Monday, but I'm not 100% sure. You have to go to the Eventbrite link and check it out, and that'll give you the dates. So I think I said already, Tuesday Torah study is at 1 p.m. with Rabbi Pinsky. Thursday, February 4th at 6:30 p.m. is Doctors Gail and Bob Levine Fried. I think you're not both Levine Fried, but I'm going to call you that for now anyway. Doing gentle chair yoga and gentle qigong with meditation and Jewish wisdom.
Levine Fried is fine.
Okay, thank you. I think this is the second of 4. Is that correct, Bob and Gail?
Yes,
Yes.
And people can come to 1 or more of them, right?
absolutely. Everyone's welcome.
Everyone is welcome. So there you go. And at 7:30 on Thursday, there's a membership committee meeting. Next Friday, which is already February 5th. I don't know how that can be, but it is. At 7 o'clock, we'll have poetry text study as usual, followed by services. And then the next day, religious school biyachad and services. So that's things that are going on. Is there anything else that I did not mention that anybody would like to bring to our attention? Mention, attention, rhyming. No, nothing? Excellent. So Noni is going to take us out with another lovely, lovely Debbie Friedman song, Tfilat Haderech, which is the traveler's blessing. And even though we maybe aren't leaving our houses, we are going our separate ways in, with our spirits, because we're not going to be together on Zoom anymore. And so may our spirits go safely on their way.
May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. May we be sheltered by the wings of peace. May we be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine on you and be gracious to you. May God lift God's face towards you and give you peace. Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.